Howdy doody, buckaroonies, it's Cameron with Venus Theory, and in today's video we're here to talk about this sound. And how to create that perfect, dark, super low, rumbly Reese thing. I don't know why, but in the comments lately I've seen a lot of questions about this, and I haven't made a video on this because I guess I just assumed this was such a basic sound that people already knew how to do it, but everyone's been asking, so I figured I would go ahead and explain how this is done. So we're going to build this from scratch. So we got this big, deep thing, and we need to make that from this. Okay, so this is actually very, very easy. You can do this in any synth you want. Feel free to follow along in Serum or DistroKid or operator or whatever you want to do. If you're an operator, make sure to route it so all the voices are in parallel and not providing FM. Yeah, okay. So start things off nice and easy. We're going to up this to 2 voices. We're going to turn the semi down an octave. So we're going to drop this down 12 semitones or 1 octave. We want a deep, dark, low sound, so we need a bass. Cool. Play with the detuning until you're comfortable with it. If you only have a little bit, sounds way consistent. We want just enough warble to give it some movement. That's all we're going to do. This is going to be a saw. Feel free to experiment with different saw type waves or even square waves if you want. Really doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to make sure our synth is mono, and we're going to add portamento or glide. And that's pretty much it. Now, the transition of the glide is fine, but there's kind of this clicky instant feel to this, and we want just a bit more subtlety. So your amplitude envelope, or whatever envelope is providing the volume envelope, you want to up the attack slightly. Just to get rid of that initial dun, dun, you know. Okay, cool. Done. Now we just need a low pass filter. In this case, Dune 3 has analog filters. The AM Polaris 24 dB per octave filter is probably my favorite for this. I want a bit of filter drive, and I'm just going to drop this way the hell down. And then open it up slightly till it sounds right. Now, you will want to make sure you're using a very steep filter. You'll notice if I open this up to, let's say the Pro 12, so this is only 12 decibels per octave, there's a bit more stuff coming through that we don't really want. So a 24 decibel per octave filter cuts out way more stuff, which is really handy. So we're going to open up the attack a bit more on the amplitude envelope, maybe up release. And we get that nice smooth bass. Now, one thing you may notice is this is fairly detuned. So it's kind of warbly rumbly. And that's kind of the way these are done. But if you do want to reinforce this, I would recommend putting a sine wave underneath. So this is oscillator 2 here. I'm going to up a sine wave. And I want to drop this down an octave. Whoops. Dune 3 kind of makes this hard. There we go. And then just mix this in. Cool. And that is a super dark Reese from scratch. It only takes a couple clicks, very easy to do. And away you go. Now, in terms of processing, because I know people are going to ask about this, a couple things to do and keep in mind. Compression, ratio maybe 3 or 4 to 1, and then look for about 6 to 10 dB of gain reduction. You want the attack relatively quick, and then just play with the release until it feels right. I find about 50 to 100 milliseconds, depending on the sound, works. After that, there's a couple other things you can try. I would definitely recommend just a touch of saturation of some kind, so I'm just going to give this a little bit of kilohertz saturate from their distortion plugin. Makes all the difference in the world. Without it, with it, cool. And maybe just drop the mix on that a little bit. There we go. And then we might go ahead and just open up some kind of EQ. I'm going to use slice EQ for this. Really what I want to look for is any ridiculous resonance. So I'm going to set the spectrum to be exact. So this is our fundamental down here. And I want to look for kind of second and third order stuff more in this range. So right here, this is a good frequency to give a little bit of love to. because that's really going to give it that big growl, especially on smaller speakers. Now, you want to be careful not to overdo this, because if you increase this way too much, it's going to clip to hell and be super crazy. So I find a just fairly narrow and small boost, no more than like 5-6 dB on some of these upper harmonics, usually like here, will really be nice. One final thing to keep in mind before I'm done with this video is key tracking of the filter. So if we open this up a bit, if you're doing anything that has a lot of like big glidey, stretchy things like this, and you have your filter set really low, you'll hear that those upper notes don't have a lot of power to them. So just experiment with the highest note you're going to play. And just add a touch of key tracking until it feels right. That way we get a nice, consistent, kind of aggressive Reese. Across the spectrum that we're going to be using in the song. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon.